Hello, and welcome at this IMI Hydronic Engineering webinar. Today, we will be looking at how to save precious installation time and mitigate the risk of last-minute design changes. When executing a project, there are a number of known variables that are clearly visible, like the cost of the product. But did you know that this only accounts for 1/3 of the total cost? The other 2/3 account for the cost of installation and commissioning. But this number can easily be overwhelmed by hidden or even unforeseen costs, like installation delays, error solving, and last-minute changes, all which can have an enormous impact on your bottom line. When discussing this topic with installers, about 50% take these additional costs into account when pre-calculating a project. But this can lead to uncompetitive market pricing. The other half, in order to remain competitive, doesn't calculate these costs and takes the risk to assume the loss in profit. In the end, neither option seems to be preferable. In addition to this, several studies show that 5 to 10% of total project turnover are failure costs. So, for example, non-functioning product replacement. And this is actually a very optimistic number because other studies show that up to 40% of total project turnover is failure cost. And then 40 to 60% of time spent by technicians on site is non-productive. And actually, this is one of the lowest rates in comparison to a number of other industries. And let's out those numbers into a bit of context. Here's a big study done by McKinsey. The left image shows the evolution in added value per hour worked by a person for 3 categories. The light blue line shows the biggest evolution. This is growth in added value per person in manufacturing. The gray line represents the total economy and the orange line construction. We can determine a very slow growth in productivity in our sector. On the right side, we see the evolution in productivity divided by subsector, where automobile manufacturing is the fastest moving industry. In HVAC, we are one of the slow movers. This means we have the opportunity to reinvent ourselves. That was the bad news. The good news is that we can improve our productivity by 50 to 60% by taking action in 7 areas. There are 4 areas in particular where IMI Hydronic and its expert brands can be your partner. To rethink the design, to improve the on-site execution, to infuse technology and innovation, and to help reskill your workers. Let's see how exactly. Firstly, we understand that you, as installers, are facing big challenges. Having to deliver a perfectly performing installation that delivers accurate and stable indoor temperature is becoming increasingly hard to do due to the increased complexity of HVAC design, changes in energy efficiency standards, and local regulations. There is so much you must take into consideration. And most important of all, you need to be profitable while doing it. If we look into your ROI, your return on investment, it can be split into an endless number of sub-challenges. Here we have a look at the 6 most important. You have to meet the design specifications, then deliver the proof of performance. You need to think about your procurement and delivery on site, team management, different kinds of people, different kinds of teams. Safety, you need to keep your people safe, and delivering the site on time and on budget can be probably the most stressful part. So to avoid these stress factors, you got to make sure to make every step count. Ultimately, to be effective and efficient, you need to avoid time-wasting commissioning, Use smart and easy products and use products that are adaptable to real on-site conditions. In addition to that, look for suppliers with knowledge, willing to share that knowledge. And there was a smart man who once said the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. This is not only true in sports, but also in our installations. By combining the right products, the equation 1 + 1 = 2 doesn't add up. It's more than 2. Combining the 3 product ranges ensures your compatibility, adaptability, time-saving commissioning, and the system approach. With TA, for example, you can have a 3-in-1 control solution that is adaptable on site. Pneumatics products are smart and connected, and with the IMI range, effortless hydronic balancing is assured. Our PIBCV valve TA modulator, for example, ensures quick hydronic balancing where no system calculations are needed. Their accuracy ensures precise flow control, so precise temperature control. Tests have shown that you save up to 50% on commissioning time compared to similar projects executed with manual balancing valves. A stable indoor temperature is guaranteed, and even troubleshooting is possible on our valve. A second important argument for our PIBCV valves is the weight of the valves. A heavy product creates a lot of installation worries. Here I have taken the DN125 as an example, and this PIBCV valve only weighs 45 kilograms. Our big size PIBCV valves are by average 35% lighter than competitor valves, so no excessive man or horsepower needed. TA modulator, in combination with our slider actuators, guarantee optimal flexibility and adaptability to system conditions, and in addition to that, foolproof to commission. I'll let the short instruction video speak for itself.
My name is Jean-Christophe Carret, and I'm going to show you how to make use of the iTune app to configure the TA slider actuators. Let's talk about the setup of actuators. As you know, actuators need to be adapted in their configuration to the control systems in which they are fitted. To do this kind of configuration with traditional actuators, what you need to do is to get access to the actuator, bring along with you tools allowing to open the cover or compartment of the actuator, and access a rack of dip switches or jumpers allowing one by one to make certain configuration choices in the actuator. One of the difficulties is to know which dip switch to turn, and for this you need to bring along with you some installation instructions that will document you on which switch to turn in order to obtain the function that you want to apply to the actuator. You need then to fix back the compartment to be finished, and obviously this configuration requires you to have the actuator connected to the power supply to be able to see the effect of your configuration. This way of doing is part of the past. To free you from tools and installation instructions, but also to give you access to over 200 setting parameters in a way that allows you to save 50% of the commissioning time, IMI Hydronic Engineering has just introduced a new range of actuator called TA Slider. TA Slider got a micro USB connector to which you can connect the TA dongle. With the TA dongle, you will enable connecting your smartphone through the iTune app that is available on Google Play and Apple App Store. And as you can see on the screen, the app allows you to get access to all the parameters of the actuator. The first parameter I'm going to change is, for instance, the input signal. And this input signal is currently set to 0 to 10 volts, and I am going to reverse it in a very simple way. Getting back to the menu, I also get access to the possibility to change the stroke. I can choose the speed. I can set up the valve to which the actuator is connected, which allows me to then adjust the stroke through a flow value. And through an extended menu, I get access to calibration parameters, characteristics that can be adjusted, programming of binary input, programming of the relays, and a lot of other settings like some error settings. Speaking about error, you also get access to the last errors that the actuator has met, and you get also the possibility to read some statistics of use of the actuator, like the total motor usage time and the cumulative distance it has covered. One of the good features about having the TA dongle is that its battery is sized for powering up the slider 160 and TA slider 500, even though these actuators are not connected to the power supply. This means that by connecting the TA dongle to the actuator, you get an easy way to position it at a first position during commissioning time. For instance, if you want to measure the flow through the valve, you would need the valve to be fully opened, and the easy way to do that with the dongle is simply to press on this auto button here to switch to the manual mode as the red LED is indicating. I can see from the LED blinking there that the actuator is already in the fully down position, so I will request it to go up by pressing this up key. And by the simple press on this key, you can now see from the LED blinking that the actuator is progressing up. If I let it go throughout, it will stop when it's reaching the fully open position of the valve. The micro USB configuration that we have just seen working on the small range of actuators TA slider 160 can be applied in just the same way on the bigger range of actuators TA slider 750 and 1250. Just open up the compartment, take the TA dongle, plug it in the micro USB connector, and as we can observe on the app, the actuator gets recognized by the dongle and by the app. You are ready for the configuration. By introducing micro USB configuration in its new range of actuators TA slider, IMI Hydronic Engineering offers you unparalleled versatile adjustment of actuators in HVAC for the first time on the market.
We all know the importance of a good pressurization system. In addition to delivering reliable performance, the systems from IMI Pneumatics come with BrainCube panel as a standard. It enables remote access and connectivity of the system for easy troubleshooting and diagnostics, and the factory settings of the system makes it plug and play. Simply Compresso and other Compresso products are by average 38% lighter and smaller than static vessels. Let me take another example out of the pressurization range. The Transfero Connect is a high-efficiency system with pumps, but in this product we've also included a cyclonic vacuum degassing system for degassing the water makeup and system water in the most efficient way. This 3-in-1 combination doesn't only heavily decrease installation time and optimize the system compatibility, but it is also cost-saving. Tired of system calculations for the mostly very large radiator plants? AFC technology will let you forget these worries in no time. Setting the correct flow is by setting the valve in a scale from 1 to 15, where 1 is 10 liters and 10 100 liters. saving you 75% of commissioning and calculation time. No overflows, no calculations, no noise, no worries. And as in sports, behind every great team is another great team. Your great team is backed up by passionate people who can help you rethink the design, by free software and tools, and our well-known Hydronic College, who has trained more than 200,000 HVAC professionals all over the world. And to close this webinar, I would like to show you one of the successful projects where, by combining the force of the installer with ours, a high level of efficiency was reached. In this specific project, 6-way valves were installed in combination with Slider 160 changeover, modulator DN20, and Vento Connect degassing system. We used the modulator, who can easily switch to the limited flow of heating and cooling, and send a signal to the actuator of the 6-way valve. All this simply in a 0 to 10 volt signal. The picture shows a setup of the products. Wiring is done by connecting the wires with a prefabricated coupling. And then the reason for choosing our products was that the installer, together with the engineering office, chose the IMI products for compatibility reasons, reliability, and ease of installation, together with the support of our sales team. I would like to thank you for your time and interest. Feel free to contact your local IMI team for all your questions, and see you in the next webinar. Thanks.